Bow, bow, bow. What up? Welcome to Innovative Results. This is Aaron Guyett. I'm here at the Orange County Fitness Playground in Costa Mesa, California, and I'm going to bring you some of the basics of running. And it's running as I understand running. I know that there's a million other books out there that are saying run this way, run that way, do the heel toe roll, whatever. Hey, I'm not saying that I'm an expert. I'm not saying that I'm the best. I have read quite a few books, talked to really smart people that are smarter than me. The authors of the books were smarter than me in the running. And then I've observed nature. I've observed gravity. Speaking of the plane that's taking off right now, right? I've even observed planes and why they lift, or sailboats and why they sail. Hey, so that's what I'm going to talk about. Is I just look at it like, hey, we have something that's constant all the time that allows us this beautiful thing called locomotion. So on this Fitness Friday, when we go over the basics of running, I'm just going to give you bare bones basics. Now, you can take it as far as you want it, or you can take it to a whole nother level if you want to, or you can just try these simple little basics and see how you feel. But I've looked at planes when they take off, right? There's a force, gravity's holding them down. Then there's a force called wind, right, that goes over the wing, and then wind that goes under the wing. And that wind on the top has to go further than the wind on the bottom. They meet on the other side, and it creates lift, right? Same with a sail, right? There's wind that goes around inside one way and then around the other way, has to go further on the other way. It pulls the sail. So the friction for a plane is the wheels and gravity and all this stuff that's holding it down. The friction for a boat, same thing. Gravity is holding it in the water, but then the water itself becomes the frictional point. Well, same with our running. We have friction, which is gravity to the ground, holding our feet down flat. And actually, so we can use gravity to our advantage. Because what if gravity was not constant? It'd be really entertaining, but it would also be devastating too, right? If I was caught in the wrong position, just imagine if I was in the human cashew, which I've talked about before, right? All of a sudden a gust of gravity, like a gust of wind came, boom, fold me over, slam my head into the ground, I would be in pain. But thankfully, gravity is constant, so we get to leverage it to our advantage. Or we could not, and we could try to just power running all on our own. Big reach, big strides, gnarly heel strikes, pulling the ground towards us. Big reach, big stride, gnarly heel strikes, pulling the ground towards us, bending down so that we could do that better at our back, loading our back, not loading our glute, not loading our abs, not loading our quads properly the way they're supposed to be loaded, or the triple extension in the leg the way it's supposed to be loaded, or, which is why I have this cool little slap in the bass band next to me, right? It's to give me feedback so that I can fall with gravity correctly. Because obviously I don't have a partner with me to give me feedback. And so this is going to make do as my partner, and then you can see what's going on. So if I have a little bit of an angled lean, then look at gravity. It has to travel here much further, much faster than it travels here to get to the bottom. And if I remove friction, what happens? Gravity pulls me forward. Right? This is just my own observation of gravity, humanity, right? Our relationship with the ground, through our feet, through our body, right? And so if I'm sliding my foot up the lower part of my leg, right, as opposed to trying to drive it on my own accord, but I'm just coming up here, removing that frictional point, right, and using my arms as their contralateral purpose, right, so that I don't flop over to the side or expend too much lateral energy or have too much back force or whatever, right? I'm nice and balanced so that gravity can pull the main part of my center, right, forward in gravity's direction, which is basically down. But instead of allowing myself to fall, I just keep replacing my foot, right, removing that friction and then adding that friction, keep replacing my foot and keep my feet underneath my hips, fall at my hips, as opposed to falling at my chest, right, and getting this huge back load and having to do way more work with my legs. Now, this, if you are already a runner, to change to this is going to take a ton of discipline, a lot of feedback, a lot of coaching, and a lot of drilling and a lot of work. But for me, personally, I have changed to this style of running. I've changed my style of running 4 times. And every single time I've learned something new. Now I rest and sit in this style, and I expend far less energy and go much further, much faster at an older age with much less effort than I did when I was in my 20s and even my teens, when I just ran every day for fun, all of the time. I was running everywhere. I was trying to be Forrest Gump. That didn't really sound like it though. He was running. I was running. I don't know. Anyways, I screwed up. But you get what I'm talking about. So I ran all of the time, and I was running wrong, and I was just muscling through, wondering why my calves were going to blow up every single day, wondering why my back wanted to blow up every single day, wondering why my abs weren't as ripped as they are nowadays, even though I got a huge layer of hair over it. But now that I'm using gravity to its advantage, staying tall, staying wide, and then putting my arm out, driving my elbow back, right, sucking my foot up, and keeping my foot underneath my hips as opposed to reaching forward, I'm falling forward at a much, much faster rate with far less damage to my body. My musculature is able to take that load rather than my joint structure, which was what was happening before, right? So that musculature, that's what it's for. And then obviously too much load in one area is wrong, but this helps me spread load it throughout my entire body. And then gravity just pulls me along, pulls me forward. Think about the skater. The skater naturally understands this concept. You will never see a skateboarder, I'll take this off now. You will never see a skateboarder reach way far forward, drop his heel, and then pull his skateboard forward. It just doesn't make sense physically. Then why do runners do that? Why would a runner do that? Why would we put so much force this direction when we're trying to go that way? With a skateboard, you have much less friction with the ground, right? So you see the skateboarder drop it right next to his other foot and drive hard. Drop, drive hard. Watch, even the skateboarders that do this, they don't ever touch the ground until right there. Boom. Even the skaters that are doing this big forward movement, they only touch the ground right at the tip of their foot. Watch it sometime. It's pretty incredible to watch. So now that maybe I've changed the way that you observe running, the way that you observe nature, the way you observe gravity, give that a shot. Give those basics a shot. This is our Fitness Friday, and I just broke down just some basics of running. And then down below, you're going to see a link to some other running basics. We'll have barefoot and a couple of other things that you can check out here at Innovative Results. With that being said, make the next one your best one.